No one tells you that learning a new language is actually easier than you think. Hello, my name is Aline. I'm a tutor on PrepLite teaching my students to become more fluent in German. Here's what I have learned so far while teaching German on that platform. I have learned so far that it's all about gaining some confidence before you actually know how to speak. Because why do you need to have some confidence to speak? Well, in order to sound like a native speaker, you have to know that first you have to make mistakes. That's why I want to highlight on that more. I want to highlight that it's okay nowadays still to make some mistakes. Why? Because sometimes you're a failure and sometimes you're a winner. So life is not always about to be all the time the winner. Because when you look back, when you were at school, you were also making mistakes, right? But in school you have been taught, learning a language is necessarily to know the grammar rules. Well, let me admit, it is still important to know some grammar rules in order to sound like a native speaker, but it's not just about that. It's about to stand up for yourself, raise your voice, and tell the people, the crowd, or if you don't have a crowd, tell the people what you want to say. So you and I, we know these very embarrassing moments when we meet a stranger, we maybe want to know something about the stranger, but we don't know how to start. How we often start, start with a small talk. It's about, hey, how are you doing? The weather is great, or the weather is not great, and so on. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of small talks, as you can already see and hear. I'm going to tell you why I'm not the biggest fan of a small talk. At the beginning, yes, we need it. We need to know what's the name of the other person, the profession, and so on. But to break the ice, it is so beautiful when we know something about someone we wouldn't expect to know. But how are you going to find out something about someone you don't know? Well, start with some nice questions, with some proper communication. What do I mean? I mean, start with the question no one has ever asked. So, I have plenty ideas, and I'm going to share a few with you in a few seconds. But firstly, I want to share and raise some awareness why it is so important to not always stay on the surface level. Because we're all on the surface level, but what we truly want to feel, we want to feel be seen, be heard with our whole being, with our soul, with our body, with everything. Yeah. So, and that connection, because language is communication. Communication is language. But language and communication is also connection. So connection, language, and communication, they're going hand in hand. So in order to feel more connected with people we don't know so well, or we don't know yet, or people we have been knowing for centuries, kind of, it is still not outdated yet to really ask a deep question. Because when you start to ask deeply, what do you truly love in life? What do you truly seek in life? What do you think your purpose is? Emotional question. There the connection starts. And so as soon as you have with someone a very beautiful connection, you really start to talk. Whether you're introvert or extrovert or in the middle of it, you really start to talk. You start to communicate in a nice way where you will know something about someone, like I said, you don't know or you already know. Because what is so beautiful is to really have the deep dive, to show your genuine interest into someone. So here's what I would advise for you when you want to become fluent in any kind of language is start with some beautiful questions. There are a bunch of beautiful questions you find elsewhere, but it's about to pick those ones you can connect with the most. So questions can look like, how do you truly feel today? How does your heart feel today? What makes you truly happy? What enriches your life and your heart too? What is something you're seeking for the most? And here I want to highlight a bit more when you you want to seek something for yourself, okay? So nowadays we are living in a very selfish world where it's all about me, myself, and I. So think of that. You are not the only cell out there. You're not the only shining light out there. There are billions of people who are like you. Maybe another skin color, maybe another religion, maybe another gender they have, another belief, and so on, education too. But deep down, we are all the same, and we shouldn't forget we are here together on this planet. So, is there something you can seek for in order to help someone else or to make someone else's life better? Don't think only about you, because there are a bunch of selfish people out there too. And nowadays I find it very boring and very outdated when someone is acting selfish. So try to imagine that person in front of you is the superhero, the superstar, the god in herself or in himself. So when you start to ask someone like, what's the most wise thing you can share? What's the best thing you have ever done in your life? How's your profession looking like? How can I imagine your profession? What are the 3 things you love the most about your job? Why is your job so important in order to make the life better for someone else or so? What do you love about your loved ones the most? What do you love the most about your partner? What do you love the most about yourself? So you see, the list goes on, and I'm just highlighting a few topics where you can change the question in order to get another response. Because my dad has always taught me the one who is asking is the one who is leading. So when you're leading with a surface level example of, hey, how are you doing? Is the weather great? You will hear the same answer. But if you are going out there, being brave enough to ask a question differently, even though the outcome might look or sound like the same, but hey, it is about communication, it is about connection, it is about where language truly starts, because every single word has a frequency. And so knowing every word and also kind of their frequency to it gives you the ability to truly immerse yourself with a new language. I hope it's going to be German too, so then we'll see us in the classroom. But it's not just about a target language itself, like I said, it is truly about to enrich someone's life and keep up a smile.